Okay, great. I think we can start an interview. Hello, everyone. Hello, Bjarke. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, I'm really happy to introduce our guest today. It's Bjarke Thomsen from Denmark, from the LINAK company. He's a senior business development manager at the LINAK. And today we will speak about the topic design to shape a behavior. So how we can use the design thinking in the product design and the workspace design. So Bjarke, thank you very much for being here with us today. And could you please say a few words about yourself, about the LINAK company, because I know you're doing a great job in the market. So for everyone to know about it.
Yes, LINAK, we are a sub-supplier to the furniture industry, and we are specialists in the mechanisms for height adjustability of beds or chairs or desks. We work together closely with companies like Steelcase or IKEA, making solutions which fits their new furniture. That has caused that I have talked a lot with designers, interior architects, and design people because we are part of a furniture. And furniture is again part of the office environment or a living environment. So I have visited fairs in Milan, in Italy, as well as NeoCon in Chicago, and famous companies in Japan. I worked internationally for about 25 years. Also been with LINAK for 25 years and have a lot of
Wow,
hands-on
25 years.
experience.
It's a huge.
So although we are a very technical company, I will not speak so much about technology, but I will show you examples of what I think could be of interest.
That's great. Thank you very much. And I know that you have a great presentation prepared for us.
Yes, I have some slides which I want to share with you. So I think that pictures can tell more than many words. So I will take the liberty to show you some pictures of designs, architectures, and furniture.
That's wonderful. We can start sharing. Check please if it works correctly.
Yes.
And yeah. So once we're starting here, I know that you have a super interesting story about your design thinking approach in LINAK, and also that design thinking takes quite a big part of your company's job and the way of thinking. Can you tell us the story about your campus, for example?
Yes, I think that our campus is actually a nice introduction to our way of thinking. The special about our campus, or part of our campus, is that we are living in a round building. And as you can see here, we also a little bit on the countryside, so we have plenty of space.
Really cool. Very spacious, you know.
Yeah. And if you look inside, it is like one big room where we have manufacturing and white collar tasks, administration going on in the same environment. So what's special is actually that our manufacturing people have all the window places, and management is in the center.
Ah, okay.
And remember, this is built in 2002. So this is not something out of recent development. We actually made the plans in 2000. And I have worked in this building for 18 years. So we have a lot of experience. And that is maybe the difference between this one and a lot of other designs you see. They're all brand new, and you don't speak with the people who are living in them. This has a great flexibility. Now, some of you may notice that the furniture is maybe not of the newest, but that's actually because it was all new furniture in 2002. and we
Yeah.
have since kept the line.
By the way, I'm very curious about if you. I will ask you later. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was another little story. What you see here is actually our vice president, John Frost.
Yeah.
He's sitting in the center of the administration area of this building, as you could see in the video. I will just show it again. So he doesn't have a corner office or whatever. He is actually sitting where everybody can watch, and he can also watch everybody. So if you want to have a chat, you just knock on his desk and you can have a chat. If he's
And you
there,
already had this model in 2002.
yes, we
That's
had.
great.
Yeah. So that's something about our hierarchy and our philosophy also. Of course, we have sit-stand desks for every employees, actually also in manufacturing. And here you see 3 of my colleagues who are actually using their desks raised up.
Hmm.
It's engineering department, so it's looking a little bit messy, but everybody has his own desk, and we have ample space. So the desk size is with a tabletop of 2 meter times 1 meter.
That's great. And I see like some desks with like a whiteboard with a post-it and with a creative process on it. That's also great.
Yeah. So that's daily life. That's myself at my desk, and this is about showing changing position from sitting to standing. I use this when talking to people about speed, because many say, okay, I need one which says a very high speed for changing my position. And I will argument a little bit, okay, higher speed means higher power, higher cost. What do I need it for? Because the 10 seconds it takes is actually the time you use to reposition yourself.
Hmm.
You'll see on the first floor is our meeting rooms for like customer visits, but else it's one big room.
Hmm. And your campus, it's only for the work areas, or it's also for manufacturing
It's
some
actually
products?
also for manufacturing. If you see here in the outskirts, there is a glass wall between white collar and blue collar area
Hmm.
because of noise and also a little bit about safety, but it's all transparent and visible. And if we look inside, this is the office part. You go
Hmm.
through a door, the glass wall, and then comes manufacturing. I hope you can see this video.
Cool. Yeah.
And the manufacturing is mainly done by about 60 large robots. So we have automated our manufacturing as far as we can. And those 60 robots will take care of producing about 2 million electric desk legs per year.
So cool.
So we have in one building combined advanced manufacturing as well as white collar employees.
Just I'm curious, when you started to use the robots for manufacturing?
Yeah, that started maybe 10 years ago and has gradually developed over time. We had a few even before that time, but really massive investments in robotics have gone over the last 10 years and increased a lot in the last 5 years. We were in a position where we actually needed more capacity because of our sales growth. So a way to create more capacity in the same space is actually to use robots, which will work 24/7, and thereby increasing our capacity. And in the same period, we haven't laid off any of our blue collar workers, but they have been retrained to take care of the robots, to feeding them with materials and keep on the maintenance. So that's our new philosophy.
That's really interesting because for us here in Russia, it seems like you are already in a future where we still are having just our way at the moment. So it's great. You've started it such early, I would say, for the whole industry.
Yes, we were on the front with this development. And here you see the desk line building was I showed the inside of, and next to it you
Hmm.
see a newer round building which we built 2 years ago, and it's round again, but is in a little different shape because it on the top it has a huge conference center with a lecture hall and some
Mm.
outside.
In the
But
middle,
we
yeah,
we
yeah.
kept the design philosophy of the round building. It creates a different atmosphere and as few walls as possible to create open but also very flexible spaces.
By the way, is it comfortable for people to be so open and flexible all the time? Because sometimes we facing the problem that people are getting very tired of such open environment
Yeah,
quite often.
yes. Of course, there is this element of possible distraction, which can be negative. I say distractions in many cases is noise. We have the advantage that we have a very high ceiling. So the time for the sound to travel to the ceiling is very long, and thereby will be damped. So the noise is mainly from chatter from the neighbor, but we have a very low level. And then there is the disturbance for visually, of course it's there,
Hmm.
but the advantage is also that you can at every time raise yourself and see, okay, is he or she there? Are they available or do they look busy? And can I talk to them?
And
So this great visibility and close contact to colleagues is actually of a higher importance than the risk of visual disturbances, I would say.
that's
And then we have a range of team meeting areas. You see the desks in the front where there are breakouts and you can go and have a chat. So instead of disturbing your neighbor, you go to those areas or a cafe we have, and you take your one-on-one meetings there.
And I also have a question. We didn't discuss it earlier, but still, do you have any plans for changing the work environment after the COVID
Um,
or not?
Partly. Uh, First of all, we ensured that we had enough distance between people.
Hmm.
Between 1.5 and 2 meters. And due to this layout where we have large desks with 2 meter tabletops, that distance was easily covered without making any uh, rearrangements. So our precautions was to encourage people to take care of the sanitary, washing hands,
Mm.
uh, more more deep cleaning of the surfaces, and also some rules for how to behave in the canteen and the washrooms and so on.
That's
That's it.
interesting. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah,
And going further with the products, or we have some, yeah,
yeah. That's just to various how it
I
looks.
really like it.
So I would also say that this is not an expensive designed building. The costs are actually in line with what we have paid earlier for more rectangular factory buildings. It's steel and construction with ceramic plates on. And also you see the first building was very solid, was built in 2002, and this one 16 years later. So they still look the same. You cannot see that the ceramics have been faded. The color is really nicely, and as well on the
It
new one.
was the same architect and the same team who
Yes,
created this.
same architect, same construction company.
Yeah, that's great because it looks like it was constructed in the same time, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's part of our philosophy is actually creating nice ample spaces with a high degree of flexibility. And as you see, our vice president was sitting in the middle, low hierarchy levels, bringing people together from our normal uh, office employee to our top manager. There's only 4 levels, and we are a company of 2,500 employees.
That's actually really great, and it's also very on time at the moment because you already had this system like testing for more than 10 years, working with a flat hierarchy, with a quite big distance and personal space for people. And now you can use it in this pandemic situation, just changing some behavior and culture with not so big changes in the space. So it's great. And you also mentioned a lots of information about products that you are producing in manufacturing, and also it was great to see how much do you use the seat to stand desks.
Yeah,
And I know that you are really focused on the product development and designers who develop this kind of products. So could you please share some of the LINAK's approach to the product design?
yeah. Um, we are launching between 10 and 15 new products per year, so we have always a lot of projects going on. And I will tell you a little bit about a story of a product, but as well of the designer behind the product. Um, I had a group of students making their master thesis for LINAK, for me, where they were given the task of coming with new ideas for a desk controller. The desk controller is the unit you operate to make the desk go up and down. That sounds very, very basic, but there's a lot more behind it. So we had this student team working for us, and they actually came up with some great ideas. This was a prototype where they had a lot of small LEDs and also a sensing surface. So via striping and wiping, you could control the desk. That was a good idea, but not the ideal we wanted. But actually, some months later, we started a real project to come up with a new desk control. And I approached Anne, who you see in the pictures. He was just graduated as design engineer from university, was part of this project, and I asked her, can you come and help us for a new project, part-time actually in the start? And she said yes, and moved to Sønderborg, where we are. You can see this is in the round factory. You have manufacturing going on in the back. And we sent her out to do studies in USA, in Germany, in Scandinavia, where she was asking people who had a sit-stand desk how they use the desk, what could prohibit them from using it, which wishes they had for improvements. So she did a large field study of people's behavior. And that made the foundation for the specification of what we wanted to develop. So I will jump well, 18 months later, we had a prototype for a controller, which was very different from what we had in the past. In the past, we had buttons which you need to press. Now it's a surface you just tilt. You tilt up, you tilt down. There's a feedback on it, and there's a connection to your iPhone or mobile device. So there was a lot put into this device. We discovered by our investigation that people were not using their desks as much as they actually could. And if you don't use a height adjustable desk, then the investment of the employer is actually wasted. So we made a reminder functionality in this controller, where you can have a reminder on your iPhone or mobile device, but you can also have it on your monitor, which is in your viewing area. So it is a little nudging feature which tells you now it's time to change your position. And you can, of course, set how often you want this reminder to be, and you can, via statistics, also get a view of how you are using your desk. Studies tells that you have to have about 25% of your time standing compared to sitting if you want to have the optimal use of the desk. And on iPhones, you can also have it transferred to your watch and get a little reminder. Now it's stand up and get on top. It's a
I
little
think
thing, but has a lot of improvements for the users. So this new device, Anne was involved in the physical design, but also a lot in the features we had to put in, and also to make it intuitive in the way to use it. So we also took care of our OEM customers. There's a possibility to have a brand in it.
so you can integrate it for different brands, just
Yes,
as a small
yes,
device. That's
yeah.
great.
So in the end, actually, Anne was standing on the red carpet in 2018 and receiving the Red Dot Award for this new device, which she has designed and engineered as part of the team for about 1.5 years.
That's really
Great story of a product, but also how we engage with young designers who we encourage to give us new inspiration and a lot of activities, and using also what they have learned at university.
And it's interesting. I really like what you tell about how you researched on before starting the production, how Anna conducted the research and figured out how people actually use these kind of things and how to create the shape. And this is exactly kind of also people-centered design approach to the whole process of the design. And also like such a small thing but could be so powerful, you know. So it's a really great story. And but you also say a lot of things about sit to stand desks and about standing as an option in the office, and you showed it how you use it in your own office.
Yeah,
So how do you think how actually the whole furniture market will evolve in the future, and how sit to stand desks will be integrated to the workspaces, and why it is important actually?
yeah, yeah. We are engaged in a lot of projects for new furniture, new designs. This is also a project from a German designer who designed a little trolley, you can call it, with this height adjustability, because perhaps not all the work will in the future take place by desks, but in different environments. So we follow closely new ways of using our technology in new ways of furniture. This one was very exciting.
It's
But
for
of,
working or for some lectures or for different
it
type of
can be for working, for lectures, sitting in a sofa, having it run down, standing up while giving a speech run up. There's a storage compartment. And it's electrically powered in the height adjustability, and then with small
and
wheels
it
so
could be
you can drive it
personalized,
around.
as I understand, like it has some kind of a storage unit here.
Yeah,
Oh, it's interesting. And where people put their legs when they sit, for example, in front of this, or it's mostly for standing work.
Both for standing as well as sitting. Uh, Let me show you something else, because I
Yes.
mean, we all know that the office is changing. What you see on the left is old style fashion, and on the right, new way of having the office designed. But we think that the desk is not going away. A kind of horizontal workplace is still what you want to have. If it's in a cafe or in the office or in your home, you need a horizontal workspace. And we know from studies that hydrodistability, the possibility to work standing, is really good for your body, for your back, for your health, actually also for your productivity. You are more relaxed. Your voice is sounding better when standing. So there's a lot of good benefits. We have seen this applied by big companies like Apple for their new campus in California. That was designed by Foster and Partners,
Yeah.
basic from their London office. And very early we were engaged. I was actually in the Foster and Partner office in London, advising them of the possibilities for integrating mechanisms into like walls and furniture to create something unique for the Apple Park. And that was then realized. But on the lower end, we are also a supplier to IKEA. IKEA has a stand desk called iDosen with LINAK solutions in, and they even promote our own app, as you see on the left, with our
Oh,
logo on to operate it.
that's
Other brands are like Technion of the Canada, US, and in the Far East, or Vita, like a benching system. Now, I think benching system may have a problem here in COVID-19 area, because it's hard to reposition the desks, but that's another matter. Um, but they have a lot of benefits with high adjustability. It's really about health, wellness, better communication. For instance, if you want to share something with your colleague, he's coming to you, you raise up your desk so that you are both standing and looking at the monitor, instead of you are sitting and he has to kneel down next to you. And now we are facing that activity-based working is the new trend. So where you move from place to place depending on your task, if it's a team talk or it's a phone call, or you need to engineer a new gearbox, you have different tasks and you change between different environments. And thereby every employee may not have their own desk. And then it's definitely very important that the desk can be adapted to the next user. I mean, these are two of our own software engineers, and the photo is a couple of years old, but you can imagine those two guys, they cannot have a desk with a fixed height and sharing it. That would really be awkward for both of them. So height adjustability is a necessity in many applications and office environments. Because in the end, it's all about the employees. The results are brought by the employees, and happy, motivated employees really bring the best results. So things are changing, but our body is not, and thereby we still believe there's a lot of potential for height adjustable solutions.
That's totally true. And actually, I had very interesting case lately during the COVID situation, because one of my clients, they're really, really taking care of their employees, and um, really believe that the furniture is important. So I totally agree with you that doesn't matter how the office spaces will change, the horizontal surfaces will be still there, because it's the most effective way of working. And also we have to place somehow our laptops, you know.
Yeah.
And also the ergonomical chairs, I think for the quite long sitting also will be still in the office environments, and they will be there for some time. So
Yes, I fully agree. The chair is really still very important, because I said we recommend about 25% of the time at the workplace standing, but then it's 75% sitting. So a good chair is really very important still.
yeah, and the case what I started to describe, it's once we all employees was isolated for my client's company, they started to complain that it's so uncomfortable to work from home, because they don't have their seat to stand desks, and they don't
Yeah,
have their super ergonomical chairs.
yeah,
So and the company was so generous that they sent the desks and the chairs to their homes, so employees can comfortably work from home.
yeah.
And I think it's a great experience how important to have really ergonomic furniture, not only for workspace, but also for the home office, for ones who will remain working in the home office. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we see that, for instance, Google in the US is offering the employees a possibility from work from home, and will offer an 1,000 US dollar to have them equip their home with a sit-stand desk, a good chair, a monitor. So it's a trend now. Will it last after COVID-19? Hopefully, is disappeared or being lower. Yes, I think so, because this situation has learned us a lot about working from the distance. We have seen that productivity is actually quite good. Costs can be lowered because of less traveling, and also actually less office space. And I think also a lot of like gray-haired managers have tried it out themselves now, and they have learned that it's not so dangerous, and you can trust people. They will still be productive. And at the end of the day, today we are not selling so much our time. We are selling the results, the capabilities we have, the competences we have, and that is what we are paid for.
That's really great. And we are, I hope, here in Russia are coming to the same approach to work actually. And I hope this whole COVID crisis will help people to realize that the most important thing is the result. And to have a great result, people have to work and to be engaged in the work process, and to feel well during the work. And it's of course connects to their bodies, how they move, how they behave during the day. Because I also had lots of feedback from people that it was so complicated for them to sit at home for such a long period of time. So it would be great to have an opportunity to work in standing way as well. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Just I have a lot of feedbacks coming at the moment, and it's fascinating how each interview I see how it's connected to the what's our leading company doing in their offices or in their work, and that's really really great. Thank you very much